Hey everyone, currently Gunfire. They are celebrating the 6th-year anniversary of Darksiders 2. One of the greatest games ever made, like top 10, top 5 probably, I think, even if I would remake my list now. Greatest games ever built. A love letter to the Zelda franchise. It is an absolute marvel of dungeon design, sound design, the soundtrack, the characters, the voice acting. This game is literal perfection from top to bottom. And currently my life has been so shit. I gotta focus on what makes me happy, and talking about video games makes me happy. So why not just celebrate more than just a little tweet and just make a masterpiece of a video where I just talk about my favorite moments in Darksiders 2.
Death awaits us all, just as Revelations proclaimed it would.
And I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder. One of the four beasts saying, "Come and see." And I saw and beheld a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him.
So 6 years ago, Darksiders 2 launched. 6 years ago, the Wii U launched. I love the Wii U. I think it's a great system. This tactical tablet for Darksiders was absolutely gorgeous. Like, I think most third-party studios utilize this better than Nintendo did. And when the Wii U launched, I bought the Nintendo Land edition. And I wanted something more with it than just Nintendo Land, something a bit more tangible, a bigger game to play. And I was looking around, and I remember that a year before that, I don't remember how long before the Wii U launched, my older brother showed me a teaser trailer. Just a teaser trailer, what you saw, a CGI version of Death. I think you saw a scythe, some blood dripping down, I don't remember exactly. And he's like, "You gotta get this game." It's like, what am I gonna do with that? How is that gonna tell me what the game is like? So I just brushed it aside, never thought about it again.
The end of the world began with a lie. But there is one who knows the truth. A warrior that destroys civilizations. A rider that can avenge the fallen. One who will remind the guilty. What starts with war ends with death.
And I was walking in the store, and I saw this game, Darksiders 2. I looked at it, this cover, absolutely amazing cover. I'm into metal, I love all this dark shit. The horseman shit is absolutely beautiful. I see the back, you know, become death, all this shit. You see the absolute beautiful screenshots in the back. I was like, you know what? 70 euros, I paid full price for this back then. I picked it up. Soon thereafter, the game was $10. I never regretted paying full price for this. I wanted THQ, Vigil, now Gunfire, to get my money for this shit, because like I said, it's one of the greatest games ever made. And I took it home, I turned my Wii U on, and the intro to this game started rolling.
Nephilim, cursed union of angel and demon. The Nephilim had countless realms of the sword, and burned them to ash. But 4 amongst them grew weary of the slaughter, and feared their conquest would imperil the balance. And so a truce was made. The 4 would serve the council in exchange for unimaginable power. Thus were the dreaded horsemen formed, and the riders' first task was to purge their own brethren from creation, to annihilate the Nephilim and destroy their souls. Let us now cast our gaze to one amongst the 4, not War, who lies chained at the council's feet, professing his innocence, but one who would save his brother above all else. He has many names: Kinslayer, Executioner, Death. To bargain for war's freedom, Death swore that he would resurrect humanity. But he knew not how this might be done. And so Death rode forth into the icy veil to find the Keeper of Secrets.
Now, this is why I wanted to make a video, because there is just so much to this game I wanted to talk about. Like my favorite moments, like if I have to be honest, that intro is probably it. My favorite moment is one of the greatest intros to one of the greatest games, with one of the greatest soundtracks, with the greatest character design. It is everything, it is absolutely beautiful. And when you start playing this game, Darksiders 2 gave me a feeling no other game before that has ever been able to do, except for, it's a bit hidden so I can't grab it right now, except for Ocarina of Time. At one point you're playing Ocarina of Time. When you grew up in that era, you have these 3 amazing dungeons. You know, you have the Deku Tree and Jabu Jabu, and what is the third one? The Dongo shit. And you finish that and you take the Master Sword, and it's like you finished the game. This game took so long, you had these amazing dungeons, it's all over now. That is what you have in Darksiders 2, when you have the Maker's Realm in the beginning. After you enter you get the Maker's Realm. And you have all these like, awesome like Scottish, Irish like accents, with these like massive dwarfs, an awesome concept. In this world of creation, where you have all these beautiful dungeons and everything. When you took out the Master Sword in Zelda, you felt so satisfied. This game was amazing. And then you grow old, and the whole world actually only then opens up with 5 new, even bigger dungeons. And in Darksiders 2, after you finish the Maker's Realm, you got to the Kingdom of the Dead. The Kingdom of the Dead is fucking huge. Like there's like what 10, 14 dungeons in there? I don't even remember. There's so many new dungeons, and they're all massive. They get amazing boss fights. Like you enter the Kingdom of the Dead, and one of the first side dungeons you find is the one where the Deposed King is. I forgot what the dungeon itself was called. And the Deposed King is a side quest boss. You don't even need to fight him. And you fight him, you go there, you meet him, and you get fucking destroyed. Like, this dude wipes not just the floor with you, he wipes the entire dungeon with you. It is amazing. So you train, you get better, you get new moves, you have all these skill set, you see which skill set fits better. I always like the one where you get like the exploding zombie shit and everything when you summon the coffins. I always like that path a little bit better. Because it summons decoys and kind of shit. And you get better and stronger, you fight the Deposed King again. Man, he destroys you again. Like, there's nothing you can do against this dude. So you start playing the game more, you discover more about the game, you feel like you're nearing the end of the Kingdom of Death. You're like, you know what? I want to try the Deposed King again. And then that feeling when you finally defeat the Deposed King is one of the greatest boss fights in gaming history for me. It was such a beautiful moment. I absolutely love that. And you go to the Kingdom of Death, you meet all this lore, you know, you meet Draven, the arena and all that stuff, and the massive dungeons again, and all this shit, and it's like, oh man, Darksiders 2 took everything to such a whole new level. For me though, Darksiders 2 was the introduction to Darksiders. So after I got Darksiders 2, then I bought Darksiders 1 and all this shit. It's such a beautiful franchise. So you finish Kingdom of the Dead, and like, okay, you know, that was amazing. And then you still go to heaven, you still go to the demon realm. There's all this extra shit you go to. There's so many more bosses, so many more dungeons, so many more moves, and the game, it just doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. And you have all these moments, like I said, like all these great moments when you discover these new areas. The game gets bigger and bigger. You meet all these characters like the Crow Father. Or when you meet the angels, when you meet Lilith, and the meeting with Samael, one of my favorite characters also in gaming history. Like, Samael is such a badass. I love his voice, I love his attitude.
So, the Charred Council sends only one horseman, even to the past. No, this visit is unsanctioned. In fact, no one knows you're here.
Not so. I hand over the key, it can be our little secret.
Pitiful. Flawed castings from a perfect mold. Absalom was always stronger than the rest of you.
You'll find me strong enough, Samael.
Yes. You have overcome many obstacles to stand here before me. But sometimes the hero dies in the end. Ask your brother.
Will you surrender the key, or must I take it?
Horseman, you already know the answer.
It just never ends. That's the great thing about Darksiders. It never ends. And that is one of my favorite characters ever made. He is such a joy to play. He's just so fucking cool. I love his pose. When he says scythes, you can separate them. He holds them behind his back. His stance, it's just so badass. The voice acting, Michael Wincott, Keith Sarzabaka, who played like the Crow Father and that kind of shit, I think. Like, the voice acting is just superb. That character, his attitude, the way he evolves through the game, and then you reach the end, and it's like, it's amazing. You have the horseback riding, which already shows you the horseback riding throughout all these planes. It's a game I just can't stop talking about. That's why I wanted to make this video, to just start talking somewhere and go on a rant, and I'll see where it takes me. And then for 6 long years, so I would say 5 years, I think, it's like, oh man, all this shit started happening. THQ started going under, Vigil got disbanded, the Darksiders franchise just died off. Now, that already sucks when you have a game like this, which is the greatest game ever made, one of the greatest games ever made. And it's like, okay, but this story wasn't over. Like, what am I gonna do now? So obviously, my most requested thing for 5 years long is I don't even care about the new Zelda game. I don't. It's like Breath of the Wild is one of the greatest Zelda games ever made, but I couldn't give a fuck about any of that. The only thing I wanted was for Darksiders to continue. And then a lot of great things started happening, like Nordic took over, and then THQ Nordic fused, and then you had Gunfire got born, and Airship got born, and Joe Matt went to Airship. Most of the Darksiders team went to Gunfire. You got this reveal teaser for Darksiders 3.
Hello, brother.
Do you accept this undertaking? Though they are 7, and you but 1.
With pleasure.
And I felt I could breathe again. We're finally getting Darksiders 3. Now, my plan was to buy a PlayStation 4 to be able to play Darksiders 3. Unfortunately, like if some like 2 videos ago I made a video about how my fiance, she broke up with me after 9 years. So the money that was gonna go to a PlayStation 4, that's probably not gonna happen now, which, oh man, that means I gotta wait before I can play Darksiders 3, and that hurts so much after so many years. I'm gonna see if I can maybe get the money together for the PlayStation, and then even if I get the PlayStation 4, you know, it's like $200. It should be seriously, it should be doable. And you still gotta buy the game, like Darksiders 3, but it's like, oh man, I've been waiting so long for this, I gotta play this. Finally, Fury, which, since the start, after playing Darksiders 2, and then completing Darksiders 1, it's like, I wanted Fury to be the next horseman. A female horseman, with her attitude, with the way she is. It's like, this is the perfect next element, you know. Some people wanted Strife. I was like, eh. You know, he looks cool, he looks so badass, and it could be amazing, it would still be good. But with the gunfire, you know, I feel after like having the sword and after having the scythes, you know, even though in 2 you can switch weapons, it's like, nah man, Fury with the whip and everything, that has to be it. And they're doing it. And it looks gorgeous. The game looks amazing, and it looks and it feels like Darksiders. And then the fact that you fight the 7 sins, these amazing enemy designs. I stopped, unfortunately, Gunfire. Man, I love you guys so much, and it broke my heart having to unfollow you on Twitter, but I don't want to risk any spoilers of the designs, because I'm looking forward to discovering the designs, the way I discovered Darksiders 2, the way I discovered the realms and the characters, and I want to have that for Darksiders 3. I want to discover that shit on my own to see where this game is going to take me. I'm waiting for a final trailer, the way they did the trailer for Darksiders 1, the way they did the trailer for Darksiders 2. I'm hoping for such a story-related trailer of Darksiders 3, this epic thing with the voiceovers and the shit, you know. I watched that still, but it might reveal too much, I'll see. If they start showing every single sin in that trailer, then after the second one I'm gonna stop it, but yeah. I'm looking forward to that game so much. It is my most anticipated game in my life almost. Seriously, I'm doing so seriously. Darksiders 2. If you like the Zelda games, this is what you need. This is, in my eyes, where Zelda by now should have been. When it comes to the darker, more serious tones, the scope of the dungeons, the scope of the world, everything you can do in this game, like, it is absolute perfection. And you know me, I love my metal, I love my dark shit, I love everything that has to do with like the Reapers and the Horseman lore and all that stuff. It is the culmination of everything that I am in this game. The soundtrack of Jasper Kidd in this game is it's so beautiful. So yeah, this was some of my favorite moments. Like I said, buying the game, the intro to the game, meeting some of those bosses, some of these worlds, like almost every, that's why I wanted to make this video, almost every single moment in Darksiders 2 is one of the greatest moments. have so many fond memories, only fond memories. It is like one of the top 5, if I honestly think about it, 5th, 6th place, all-time favorite games ever, if I have to be completely honest. It is just such a perfect game, it's absolute perfection. If you like third-person action adventure RPGs, because that's a great thing. Darksiders 2 added so many RPG elements, like leveling up and skill sets and armor. I love that in Darksiders 2 you could equip different armor to give Death the look you wanted, and you could make him like a more range-based character. You could make him more like arcane-based, like more like brutal combat. You could have all these set skills where you could gain health and do extra damage, or there's so many things you could do with Death, and that just added to it. And then you had like all this perfect DLC, like the boss fight in the Argus Tomb is the DLC that is included in this. There's some minor DLC included, but of the 3 major packs they released, you have like the Abyssal Forge, the Demon Lord Belial, or is that the Abyssal Forge? I'm not really sure. And then there was Argus Tomb. Argus Tomb is in this. That boss fight of Argus Tomb, again, one of the greatest boss fight in history. I love the whole level of Argus Tomb, the setting that they took Darksiders to a little bit different area, and all the shit that you could do there. So gorgeous, so beautiful, absolutely gorgeous game. So, because the game did not have all DLC, obviously we bought so many different versions of it everywhere, and I have it on Steam as well. I'm starting a replay on Steam because I never actually played the Abyssal Forge and the other one they did. I really think Demon Lord Belial was the other one, unless that is the boss and the Abyssal Forge. I'm getting confused with them, but yeah. So I still have some of it left. Such a perfect game. I feel I've come to a halt here. Everything I'm gonna say now is just repeating the same shit of the absolute perfection that is Darksiders 2. 6 years worth of, man, Darksiders, it changed my life. It changed how I see gaming, how gaming should have evolved. Everything that is in the game when it comes to the story, the voice acting. I'm looking so forward to Darksiders 3. Gunfire, seriously. You guys are like a phoenix, man. I absolutely love it that you guys came back from the ashes and brought us Darksiders 3. It's gonna be amazing. Now personally, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna love that game. Like Darksiders 1 is such a great game as well. It was just lacking a lot of the cool elements of Darksiders 2. Like the RPG elements, the amount of realms you could visit, the fact that you could like change your gear on Death and everything. And Fury could have all this shit, and she could have more. But it's fucking Death. No matter what, you cannot beat Death as a character, because like I said, but that's a personal preference, because I love all this Reaper shit. Or in Michael Wincott's voice, the way Death looks, the way he fights like an animal, it puts him above every other single horseman. Still, Darksiders 3, I just know it's gonna be another masterpiece. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this ramble of a rant, it wasn't too random. I tried to I just wanted to start talking. And like I said, Darksiders is a kind of game, it's like Zelda. Once I start talking about that, I'm just never gonna stop. There's so much to talk about. Thank you guys for watching. And stay real.
Sometimes the hero dies.
Then so be it.